Hello, this is Jan from Red Toad Art Studio. Today we are going to learn how to draw this cute, whimsical Halloween bat. In fact, today when I'm recording this, it's only a few days until Halloween, and so this is the perfect project for me. If you'd like, you can download a free instruction sheet on our website. It takes you step by step through the whole project. So let's begin. The first thing we will do is draw a circle for our body. And I want to draw my bat on an angle. Let's see, you could do it here. You can do your page up and down this way and do it here. But I want my bat flying kind of crooked with his wings going this way and this way. So I'm going to put my circle right about here with my paper tipped. Now you can do your bat wherever you want to. So the first thing you need to do is draw a circle. And I did forget to mention the things you'll need. It's very simple. A pencil, a piece of paper, and an eraser. Very simple. I also have a brush to brush away my eraser crumbs, but that's totally optional. So let's make our circle. I am going to try to draw mine darker than what you should do so that you can see it on camera. But you want to draw these first lines very light because you will erase a lot of these. I am also using a piece of mixed media paper because I'm not sure if I want to paint it or color it or just make a pencil drawing out of this when it's done. So if I do it on mixed media, if I decide to paint it, I'm good to go. Now you can do it on whatever paper you like. If you're just going to draw a pencil drawing, just use sketching paper. If you want to paint it, use mixed media or watercolor. If you want to color it, then you could use any of them. All right, here's our circle. Now I'm going to draw a line down the middle of my bat's body. This is just to help me place the features. And then I want to draw one halfway across. Now don't worry about being exact on these. These are just lines to help you place the eyes and the mouth. Next we're going to draw the two eyes right in these corners right here. And these are whimsical bats, so they have nice big eyes. Seems like all the whimsical creatures have big eyes. It's partly what makes them look cuddly, I think. Now, whether our bat looks cuddly or not depends on how you draw the features. Okay, we've got eyes. Now, I want mine, I'm going to try anyway, to make mine look like it's a happy, nice bat. So we're going to give him a big smile. Just like that. Little cheek curves there. Now, we need to put the snout in. It goes right under this line that went across the middle of your body. So right here, just put like a half circle. See that little half circle? And then a little half circle that's smaller out to each side, just like that. And there's the basis of our snout. Now bats, a lot of them kind of have a face like a dog that has a snout, and others have really weird little noses. The different species of bats can look entirely different from one another. And I just looked through several pictures and picked different parts of different bats, so mine is kind of a conglomeration bat. All right, let's look at the eyes. Now bats, what I've seen in their pictures, just have like solid black eyes. Kind of reminds me of bird eyes. But you know, to make my bat look more Halloween-y, I'm going to give my bat cat eyes. You see how I did that? I just made kind of a leaf shape in the middle of each eye. Just like that. Now, if you want to make your eyes solid, you could do that too. Now, he's a bat, and he's a Halloween bat, so he also has long fangs. So we're going to come down here and make a long fang. Now he doesn't look so friendly now that he's got long teeth, does he? He might come get us. There's his fangs. That line I can erase later. And he's kind of hungry. I'm going to put a tongue out here, just for cuteness sake. And there's his tongue. Let's see. That brings us through step 9. Step 10 has us adding little nostril holes up here on his nose or his snout. Kind of like sixes that are facing each other. This looks like a 6 and this one goes the other way. And let's give him some eyebrows, although I don't know that bats truly have eyebrows, but we're going to give our bat some eyebrows. And there's one more step on the first page of our instructions, and we want to erase those 2 straight lines we put in. Now, after you've drawn this a time or 2, you probably won't even need to put these lines in, but for the first time or 2, it does help you place the features. So we're going to erase that now. Don't worry if you don't get every line, because we will ink it and erase another time. Use my brush here so I don't smear my lad. Now, this is the hardest part, I think, is getting the wings on. I don't know why. It probably won't seem so hard to you, but for me it does. We go to page 2 of our instructions, and the first thing we do, now have your bat facing you, however your paper's turned, come to the top and make a swooping motion. And what you're drawing is going to look like it has horns almost, like a cow with horns. See that line there? And we want to make one from the same place on the other side and the same size as near as we can do it. Now he either looks like he has funny ears or horns, but this is the beginning of his wings. Now, from the tip that we went up to, we're going to come down like this. And now it starts to look like bat wings. And we want to do one here too. And this is one reason I tipped my bat. He fits on my piece of paper a little better, because if he was across here, you might not get the tips of his wings in. You know, which is okay. If he's too big, don't worry about putting him all in there. He's flying right at you, and maybe you won't see him all. All right, we're on step 14. And this is really the last tricky part, I think. We have to make this kind of a flattened V. This dip goes right underneath where this is. So let's do it kind of like come to the tip, curve up, see that? And then curve up again. And I have the left wing ready. I'm going to come mark this one too, so I do it about the same. Go to the tip, curve up, and curve up again. Now my wings aren't exactly alike, but if this bat is flying at me, they'll be at little different angles, and they won't look exactly alike, so we don't have to get too worried about that part. All right, we are ready for step 15. We're going to draw in, it's kind of the bones that form the bat wings and the fingers, these little points here. So just go right under that, about 1/4 of an inch, and follow that along, and then let that come to a point. See how that is? And we're going to do that on both sides. And you know, you can tilt your paper around to make it easier to draw certain directions. Most bats actually have like 3 fingers, but this is a whimsical bat. He's only going to have 2. We're going to come down to this spot here, from here, just like that. Don't get too worried about how that comes out. It'll just be fine. Then we're going to do it on this one. Hey, you've almost got this little guy drawn already. Now, I would like to put a witch's hat on him. Now, if you don't want a witch's hat on him, you're just about done. Let's see. There'd be a couple more things you do, but you can skip this hat part. But we're going to start his hat. Let's come about here. It's going to cover up a little bit of your wing. Circle around like this. And then over the top of the head. And then like that. This is where the hat comes down over your bat's head. Now, come to the outside of that. Draw a line in. And draw a line in this way. You know, I'm going to make that a little more this way. We have erasers. You know, that's what they're for. Erasers are very important drawing tools, in my opinion. And we're going to make a curve like that. That's the bottom part of the hat. Now, you know, witches' hats kind of come up here on a point. And it doesn't need to be a straight line. That hat could get all wrinkledy if it wants to. And now we're going to add the point here. There we go. Do you see that? Now let's erase the top of his head that would be under the hat. Now I drew a little heavy so you could see it, and it's harder for me to get it erased. And there'll be some here. There we go. And you know, I am also going to add a little circle here because of the angle my hat came in there. See how that is? All right, we're ready for page 3. Now, bats have ears. They almost look like cat ears. But he's got a hat stuffed on top of it, so it's going to bend that ear down. And so let's do something like that. His ear is bent down. I'm going to erase this a little better here because of that hat sitting up there. And now I'm going to do a line right up through the middle of that. Now, let's see. We need to do some more of his body. Under here, under the tongue, draw a line like this. We're going to put actual body on now. This was his head. Come down and meet at the bottom of that. And then we're going to give him a tail. And that tail is going to have an upside down heart on it. Like this. Look at that. Isn't it cute? Okay. Bats have little tiny legs up here under their bodies. And there's not a lot of detail to them. So you're going to do like a 6 again here. And then like a 6 facing the other one. It's a backward 6. Just like that. And there's his legs. Now, I keep looking at this hat I drew. And you know what? I don't like this side. I'm going to erase it. Again, that's what erasers are for. You know, sometimes we just don't do it the way we like. And I'm going to bring this down lower. So I don't have to have that extra funny line in there. Isn't that better? That is so much better. It was bothering me. Okay, we need to work on that hat a little bit too. We're going to put a big ribbon around it here, and that will stick out a little bit where it goes around the hat. Curve that around. And then we'll have a couple lines here that need to be erased. Of the original, it's part of the original hat there. See how that ribbon stands out now? Okay. And mine is going to have stripes on it that I can color different colors. So just eyeball those stripes. There we go. Let's see where we are at. Okay, now I want the moon and a star on this hat. So I'm just going to draw a little crescent shape here. And I'm going to put a star up here. Don't worry about the star. However it comes out will just be fine. There's a star. I think I'll put another little one down here. Stars are very hard to draw. And maybe just the tip of a moon shape up here where it goes around to the other side of the hat. And then I want to do the same thing that I did here on the tip of this hat. I'm going to do a curl up and an upside down heart shape. Hey, we're about there, guys. We're just about there. One more thing to do. This part on the wings, where it comes up to this little tip, is usually pointed and sharp. So we're going to draw a little pointed part right there and on this. And then we'll erase this. And you've drawn your bat. Isn't that neat? So, if you're going to leave it a pencil drawing, I would color in the middle part of the cat eyes here. And maybe lightly color in here and make a black hat. You could go ahead and use markers on him. You could use crayons on him. Or you can watercolor him. Now, I'm going to do the next step of inking him. To ink something, get a waterproof pen. Must be waterproof if you're going to use markers or paint over it. And we're just going to go over our lines. And I do see one thing I forgot in our drawing. We want to make this side furry. So come along and do little furry lines there. Caught it just in time before I inked it. So, to ink now, I don't want my hand to smudge the ink, so I'm going to start up here and work this direction. If you're left-handed, start here and work this direction. So I'm just going to start on the hat. And I'm going to turn my paper to make it easier. And just carefully follow your pencil lines. Now I'm going to finish inking this and I'll be back with you. Almost done with inking it. There are a few spots. I think I will go ahead and fill in this part of the eye. Oh, be sure and try to leave a white spot, the little gleams in that eye. Now, if you forgot and have already filled it in, don't panic. You can get a little dot of white paint or use a white gel pen and add those dots right back in. No problem. Somehow that little gleam always makes your pictures look more lifelike. There we go. That helps a lot, doesn't it? Now, I could, oh, yes, I could fill in this dark part of the hat where it's in shade. I think actually that would not be a bad idea. If I decided to use watercolors, I don't have a good dark watercolor in my set, and if you're using Crayolas, you won't either. So let's fill this in. If you want to get a good fill with your ink pen, work in tiny strokes. Don't do this. Just work in small circular strokes. And then you'll get a nice fill. And this does take a little while if you have a small pen. Now be careful. Some of these pens, you can see them on the other side of your paper. Now this one's good. You should always check your pens before you use your paper, because if you wanted to use the other side, say you did this in a sketchbook, you'd have marks that you didn't want, especially when you do solid fill with a pen. Okay, I have finished my inking. I need to come along now and erase any pencil lines that show. And it will be ready for you to finish. You can do whatever you want with this little guy. You can leave him the way he is. You could cut him out and hang him. Or I'm going to show you one thing you could do to finish this picture. We're going to add a few more items to it. Like, how about we make it look like he's flying in front of a big full moon? Okay, I'm going to show you one thing you can do that would be cute. That's what I want. I want to put a big moon behind him. And you could go find a big plate that will almost cover him like this. You won't be drawing the whole plate. You'd just be drawing part of it. Or you can find one of these, probably from school days, and draw a big old moon behind him like that. I think I'm going to go ahead and try the plate. Let's see how that works. Remember, you have an eraser if you don't like it. Just come in and draw very lightly around the edge of the plate. And we have a big old moon behind him. Just what I wanted. Now, I would like to put some kind of edge on this picture too, like a frame. So, I'm going to make a very simple but cute frame. Come to the top, come down about 3/4 to an inch, and make a kind of a wavy line, just like that. Don't go to the edges. Stay about 1 inch away from the edge, and do the same thing all the way down to the bottom. Come to the other side and make a wavy line all the way down and across the bottom. Now we want to come in, from 1/4 to 1/2 inch to 1 inch, depending on how much room you have before you run into your bat. And follow that around with a second line. Don't worry about being perfect here. And all the way around. This will be a good opportunity to put more color in your picture. Now, let's start and make 1, 2, 3 lines, then 2 dots, just like that. 3 lines, 2 dots and go all the way around your frame. Now, I've gone all the way around with my frame. Now I want to ink my frame and ink my moon, but I want to be sure I have the frame in front of the moon. Don't go over this line when you ink it. I'll show you here. My moon came right there. Go down to the frame and then skip the frame and come out the other side. And be sure you skip the bat too, where it goes behind the bat. Now, whatever you do to color this in, this moon's going to be a big thing to color. So be sure you have enough, if you're using a marker, that you have enough ink in that marker to go over this moon. And I'm not sure that my markers do, so I haven't decided exactly how I want to do this picture. I know I have enough watercolors, so we may watercolor it. And now I'm going to ink this whole frame. And that's going to take a while, so I'll be back with you in a few. All right, now I have it all inked. And I have a big empty spot down here. And you know what? I'd love to put some tiny bats down there flying behind my whimsical bat. So we're just going to make a couple little bat silhouettes back here. We don't have to draw this whole thing. Do a little circle, tiny little circle. And now do the up and the down, up and down. Like this. And let's do another one, about here. They're friends of the whimsical bat. They're out on their nightly flyby. Now these don't have to be perfect because they may be coming at different angles. And then we're going to fill those in. Maybe even one little tiny bat way back here that can't keep up. Maybe this is a baby bat out on his first Halloween flight. And he's having a little bit of trouble. There we go. And then take your pen and just totally color these guys in. And that kind of finishes off the picture. We need to erase it and sign it. And then it will be ready for you to do whatever you want to do with it. You can leave it as it is. You can paint it. You can color it. Now I need to erase my lines. And there we are, all ready to finish in any way you would like. I hope you enjoyed drawing this cute little bat, and I'm going to say bye-bye for now, and happy Halloween.